Hi everyone, it's Mark again at the Arts and Culture Network. I'm joined by Anjali Varma, who is a full member of our gang and a very valued one at that. We've just recorded a lovely success story, and Anjali very nearly didn't come to one of our events, but is very pleased that she did because she got hired, and that meant that she could extend her stay in the US, having been an international student. So she owes me big time, I think.
Definitely.
So this is one of the things I love to do with new members is to help other members get to know you a little bit better, and we do that by having the Arts and Culture Hot Top 10. So I'm going to ask you 10 questions about different art forms, and if you have a favorite in them. And there is always a surprise, because I didn't expect, for example, the head of Chinese art at Sotheby's to cite hip hop as her favorite musical genre. It's always a surprise, so we'll probably get one. So are you ready?
As ready as I can ever be, I guess.
Yes. I should point out you're in Avon, aren't you, in Connecticut in the US?
Yes.
And I'm in Holbridge, which is a nice riverside village in southeast Essex. So there are some miles between us, but I think there's more in common than otherwise. But I should point out to our viewers and listeners that you've been given absolutely no warning of this. So it's properly off the cuff, and you're digging into your improv roots here. So let's go. If you can't think of one, you can throw it back. And here's something I haven't done before. If I miss a category and you can spot a category that I've missed, at the end, you can ask me for a favorite in that category.
I see. Okay.
This is a new departure. So if there's an art form that I don't miss, or any question relating to arts and culture, make it helps if it's, do you have a favorite so-and-so? Right.
Okay.
So here's your first one. Do you have a favorite building?
Building.
Yeah.
Okay. Off the top of my head, I'm not entirely sure. I can think of plenty, actually, for very different reasons. But I guess I'll go with the Taj Mahal because of the history behind it and the material that's been used, marble. So yeah, I've been there a couple of times, and every single time it's been a wonder. And that's why it's one of the 7 wonders of the world, but still, it's still marvelous to look at.
I'm trying to think of the other 6.
I think it's the Eiffel Tower's there, and then there's.
Is it the 7 wonders of the ancient world or the modern world? I think
modern, or just like 7 wonders is what I've heard.
I think,
and then there's
the pyramids.
I forgot the name of
the pyramids. I think the pyramids of
Giza. And then there's the Jesus.
Christ the Redeemer.
Yes, that one.
Let's see if we can do this. How many have we got?
We've got 4 now.
Have we? Yeah, 4. Yeah. The ancient lighthouse at Alexandria.
Is that part of it?
I think so. I used to have a little kaleidoscope thing with all the things on it. The Grand Canyon is a wonder.
Right.
And we've done the pyramids. What else is there? They're kind of they're not really natural wonders, but Taj Mahal is up there. I'm sure someone will correct us.
Yeah. Someone will put in a comment saying, "How could you forget this?"
Yes. Brilliant. Okay. Do you have a favorite book, fiction or non-fiction?
So I just finished reading the Shadow and Bone book series. That's the latest that I read. So I was kind of obsessed with the entire series, but I like the sequel series better, which is the Six of Crows duology. So yeah, that's filled with events, and I know it might be a young adult book genre, but there is a Netflix series that's out that's on the Shadow and Bone, like based on the book series.
What was that Shadow and Bone or Shadow of Gold, or what was it?
Shadow and Bone.
Shadow and Bone. Okay.
Have you heard of Ben Barnes?
Yes, the name's ringing a bell. Is he the author?
No, Ben Barnes is the lead actor, sort of, in the
Oh, okay.
series. He's, have you watched Chronicles of Narnia?
Yes.
Yes, he was Prince Caspian
Okay.
in the second movie.
Right.
Yeah, that
Got
guy.
it. Yes. That guy. Okay. I must have a look at that. I love that kind of writing.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
I'm into fantasy genre, so
Yeah, I think I've read Lord of the Rings every year for the throughout my teens. And
I
when I
must say, my friend has given me a lot of grief for not having read the books. So yeah,
oh my Lord, yes, you'll have to remedy that. You find
I
there's
will.
something, and there's because there are whole chunks not in the films. So,
Yeah,
but
oh,
the
I'm
films
really
I love. My
looking.
brother was fortunate. He was in the London Philharmonic Orchestra cello section, so he recorded all the soundtrack.
Cool.
So you've probably heard him playing. And he for my birthday, he knew I was a huge fan. For my birthday, he and this was before digital cameras, I think, back in 2001 or something crazy.
Mhm.
Um, and he got a photo taken on the last day of recording for one of the films. Peter Jackson and Howard Shaw sat in the booth with the Oscar that they had,
Oh,
and my brother took a picture of them, um, rushed to Snappy Snaps to get it printed, um,
great.
brought it back. They both signed it, and I've got it up on my wall. So, and,
That's
and
very sweet.
yeah, and this you'll be jealous of this. Hang on. Oh, this is the weirdest thing I've done on a Zoom call.
Um, I don't think I can see it
Right, hang on.
with the back. Ah, there he is. Oh,
There he is.
wow.
There's Gandalf, and that's signed by Howard Shaw, who wrote all the music. So
Wow. That is quite the, like,
it's enormous.
yes. I didn't think it would be so big, but wow.
Yeah, well, it's one of the film posters I think that you can buy. So anyway, we digress. We digress. Excuse me. Right, we've only done two. Now, this might be easy for you. Do you have a favorite dancer or dance group and or dance style?
Dance style. Um, my background is in most Indian classical dances. I have a background in Bharatanatyam, Mohiniyattam, and Kuchipudi. Fun fact, there are 7 Indian classical dance forms, actually 8 now. But yeah, there are 7, and I know 4 of them. So yeah, my favorite would be Kuchipudi. Um, and that is a dance form that kind of blends Bharatanatyam as well as a lot of flowy movements, which I kind of like. So Kuchipudi is my favorite dance form. I
I'm
do
going to
enjoy some contemporary dance as well. So it depends on who's doing it and whether I like the music. And music plays a very important factor in dance. So I love that. Depends on the music.
That's great. I'm gonna Google classical Indian dance forms, and they'll all come up. And I imagine there'll be lots of lovely videos I can watch of that. That's great. Excellent. Okay, next question. Right, this is tough, but as a traveler, you'll probably um, be able to do this. You'll be easy. And I want you to imagine that you've been exiled from every country you've ever lived in.
Okay.
Yeah. And you're allowed to choose where you live based on your perception of the culture of that new country. So what country would you choose to live in if you weren't allowed to go back to any of the other countries you'd lived in?
I might go to Africa, somewhere in Africa. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't done my research yet, but I've met a lot of African American people here, and they've opened my eyes to the culture that is there. And I know that the first time that I worked here, and one of my part-time roles was for the African American dance company at the Indiana University. And I learned a lot about the culture and the dance forms over there, and they connect and relate a lot with Indian culture. So I really want to explore how life is over there. So yeah, I guess I'd go
Nice.
for that.
That's a lovely choice. Okay, brilliant. Next question. So we've done that one. Do you have a favorite sport as a participant or a spectator?
I used to do roller skating as a in a racing context back when I was in school. That was probably the only sports that I actually became a champion at. Everything else, like I used to play badminton. My dad's a badminton champion, and we obviously were encouraged to learn badminton. And I've also played some volleyball, but not very good at it. I'm not great at aiming, but I have really long limbs, so I can race. So, and the roller skates make it faster too. So
I
that's what
love
I got good at. So
That's brilliant.
there you
That's
go.
great. I don't think you've ever had competitive roller skating racing before, so that's the surprise of the day. I wasn't expecting. Brilliant. Okay, now this is cruel. I'm going to limit you to one musical genre for the rest of your life.
Ah,
What
okay.
would it be?
Can I just say melodies? Just like
Mm,
melodies can cover a lot of. No? Okay.
Not sure that counts as a
Um,
musical genre.
okay. I have a feeling that I would definitely get bored of it at some point. That's the kind of person that I am. So maybe, maybe not. I can't stick to just one genre, but I will say that I love listening to classical piano, violin pieces. So that's something that I really enjoy.
Okay, you can have classical music, and that's quite broad. So
I'll just go with classical.
go on then, like that, because then you get all the film music as well. So which is good.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite visual artist?
Um, I guess I'm not as into visual arts as I am into performing arts, so I wouldn't be able to tell you a favorite visual artist per se. Um, but I'm more into the artwork than the art, generally speaking. So it depends on the artwork. Maybe not all of the artwork of the same artist might be something that's appealing to me, which is why I go for the artwork than the artist. That makes sense.
Nice. Okay, yeah. That happened to me. In fact, you could have thrown that one back at me, because I think one of my favorite pictures is the Raft of the Medusa by
Mm,
Jericho. It's enormous. It's about the size of the house, and you know that it's an image of shipwrecked seamen trying to wave to a boat in a storm,
mhm.
and it's by Jericho, which is G-E-R-I-C-A-U-L-T, oddly. And it's
Okay.
enormous, and I don't understand how he did it, because the guy's toenails are like this if you get up close to the picture. So
Uh-huh.
how do you create a picture that's got where you can't be further than an arm's length away from it while you're doing the work, but it's actually got to be, he must have been back and forth checking things. It's quite incredible. And so that sort of I love that picture. It was great. It's got a story behind it as well, and it's beautifully done, quite dark and a bit broody as well. There were clearly dead people on the raft as well, which is a bit worrying. Anyway, that appealed to me for some reason. Okay, now do you have a favorite theatre play or musical?
Oh, so growing up in India, there wasn't a lot of um, musicals that I was um, exposed to, but a lot of the movies, the Indian movie industry is integrated with songs within the movies. So that's the kind of, so almost every cinema movie was a musical in a way. So I mean, if you think of it that way, there's a lot of movies that I like. But if I think about purely Broadway style musicals, my favorite one so far has been The Book of Mormon.
Never
That
seen,
says it about
haven't
me,
seen
but
it.
I really enjoyed that one.
I haven't seen that yet. I haven't seen Hamilton yet either.
Oh,
So
I watched Hamilton. Oh yeah, it's impressive, but
right,
that's not my favorite genre of music. I'm impressed, but not my favorite kind of music. So
okay. Which
yeah.
leads us very nicely onto the next one, which is what's your favorite movie?
Movie? Oh gosh. Like
Hmm.
I may have mentioned this to you because finding a favorite is very difficult for me. I have a
Mhm.
lot of bunch of things that I really like, but finding a favorite is going to be a very difficult task for me. But what is your favorite movie?
Oh,
I'm curious. It,
nice.
I'm sure you don't like the Lord of the Rings movie because you think the books are better. Books are always better. But yeah.
I love Lord of the Rings movies. In fact, I did Trilogy Tuesday, which was
Hmm.
probably before you were born. Um, it was the first day on which you could go and watch all three movies in one day. So
Cool.
I closed the business down for the day. I was running a web design agency at the time, and I said, and everyone came to my house instead of to the office, and we had breakfast, and we all sat and watched the first movie, The Fellowship of the Ring.
Hmm.
And then we went out for lunch, and then we came back, and then we watched The Two Towers, the second movie. Then we all got on the train an hour into London, and we watched the first public showing of the Return of the King in Leicester Square in central London.
Wow.
So we did all three movies in one day. On the first day, it was possible to do that, and
Wow.
I think they called it Trilogy Tuesday, and that was great. So yeah, I mean, I love that. But otherwise, I thought about this morning. One of the movies that I love is Memento. It's Guy Pearce, and it's about a guy whose wife has been murdered, and his memory is wiped every time he goes to sleep, and
Ooh.
he's trying to find the murderers of his wife. And the movie is not in chronological order for that reason, and it's quite nuts. It's a bit of so he gets the clues tattooed on his arms and legs as he finds clues, but he has to go through the whole. When he wakes up the next morning, he has to look at his hand, and it says, "You're trying to find your wife's murderers," and he's got numbered clues, so he has to come right back up. And somebody recut the movie and did it in chronological order as well. But so fascinating. Memento is called by.
There's a movie with this similar concept in India as well. It started off as a Tamil movie and then it got remade into a Hindi movie. It's called Gajini. You should look that up. He also has things tattooed. He has short-term memory loss after an incident
Yeah,
when his wife or girlfriend was murdered in front of his
same.
eyes, and he got hit in the head, and now he has short-term memory loss. So yeah,
Yeah,
he's trying to find the murderers of the person the lead female, and
yeah.
then yeah, that's the story. Yeah, it sounds similar.
But
Maybe it's a remake from
yeah, it sounds as though it's based on the same kind of story. I
mhm.
shall have. What's it called?
Gajini, Ghajini.
Anjali. Okay, I'll have a look. Interesting. So yeah, so that would be my favorite movie for the purposes of this one. Tomorrow it
Cool.
might be completely different.
Yeah.
We watched Matilda recently, and I love that. That's great. Really
The
good.
musical version
The musical version movie that came out this year. Yeah,
recently. Yeah.
yeah. I think it's on Prime or Netflix. I think,
Yeah.
but
I watched
I
that
love
recently
that.
as well.
Yeah. Okay, so we've reached the final question, and this is: apart from me, who was the last person to make you laugh?
My best friend. We have conversations every now and then, and it's kind of easy to make me laugh. But yeah, last was my best friend. I had a conversation with him a couple of days ago. That was
Nice.
fun. Yeah.
Excellent. Anjali, thank you so much. This is a lovely way for people to feel as though they've got to know you, who haven't had the pleasure of meeting you as I have now. So thank you again. We're going to do one more game after this, but in the meantime, thank you again for being a full member of our gang. And I'm looking forward to packaging this up and creating a profile on the blog for you on the blog on our website, and then promoting it via the LinkedIn group. So thank you very much.
Thank you, and I look forward to it.
I hope you found this fun.
Oh yeah, it was very fun.